So I'm excited to finally introduce and break down the most updated version of advertorials, how we use them to scale, when the right time is to use advertorials. Before we get into that, I just want to share with you some of my best days, best months have come from running advertorials. I've done infomercial style video ads with the blend of advertorials. I've ran a brand to take your business from doing $500 to maybe $1,000 a day, all the way up to 5, 6, 7, and onwards, infinite numbers per day, right? Right now, I'm currently scaling a brand, and it's 3 o'clock. We're up to $2,000 in revenue already on the day, and it is pretty high profit margins. So yeah, you can see here, right at about 3 o'clock, we just got another sale. So we're at $2,000 in rev for the day, $760 in profit. I had right around 40% profit margins. This particular brand is using only image ads to an advertorial, right? So this is some serious stuff here. What you're about to learn can literally change the way you do dropshipping, because it changed the way I do dropshipping. I literally do not do dropshipping any other way now, because this is the best way to do it. But there are some small nuances that you can get lost in the sauce with if you don't do this properly. So let's break this down. So first, let's actually talk about when you should be doing an advertorial. So if you've been following along in this program and you've been watching the ad with long form copy, a native image ad with long form copy going straight to your product page, the call to action on those buttons for those ads should be shop now. So that is going to allow you to test and get 5 different ad sets and figure out what winning angle you can use to market to your target audience. Because the biggest problem today with dropshipping and why a lot of people test products and fail is because they're finding good products and building great stores and building great offers, but the audience that they're marketing to might just be too saturated or too competitive to work with. So when you're starting out at a $50 a day or $100 a day budget, you have to understand that there are people already in the market space, hundreds if not thousands of brands that are spending way more than you. And the way Facebook allocates good quality customers to its advertisers is on a bidding system. So certain advertisers are putting a lot of time, energy, and focus and money on one type of niche audience. And the thing that you want to do is find which sub niche of people can we speak to that aren't too competitive and isn't, being advertised to too often. So as a quick recap, in the example of this neck massager, there might be truckers that need help with this neck massager. There might be stay-at-home moms that need help with this neck massager. There might be athletes. We don't know until we test which actual sub niche, which target audience will benefit from this product the most, but also allow us to be able to come to the market and advertise without being outbidded by our competitors. So we want to do that first. From there, once you have a winning angle, and we're going to talk about what a winning angle is, we're then going to launch a second campaign. This campaign will be separate from your existing campaign. Now, the first question is, well, Alex, if I'm running a CBO campaign, can I not just create a new ad set with the same images straight to the advertorial under the same campaign? Of course you can. But the way Facebook works, at certain spending limits, your dollars will only go so far. And I like to balance and fight ad volatility, because winning ads and winning campaigns can have days where they underperform. For me to see my ROAS good every single day, I like to have separate campaigns. That way, any adjustments, anything that goes wrong, I'm not putting it all in one campaign. I have multiple campaigns. So some days campaign 1 might be underperforming a little bit, especially as you start to scale, right? You spend more money, your ROAS tends to go down, your margins tend to get cut a little bit. So there is a line of diminishing return. So some days, campaign 1 might be underperforming, but campaign 2 is carrying the weight, so I'm not losing as much money. If these were all under one campaign, at certain levels of spend, this can actually, hurt your performance over time. Now, it's not significant because these are CBO campaigns, so Facebook will try to allocate to whichever campaign or ad set that is going to perform the best that day. But I personally like having them in separate campaigns, and I can scale them differently too, which we'll talk about. But ultimately speaking, if you launch your first CBO campaign with image ads going to an ad to a product page from a long form image ad, you will find that of these 5 tests or 5 ad sets, when you're testing, there'll be one that ultimately becomes that winner, right? So you'll see here, there'll be one that becomes that winner here. Now, what you can do under this campaign is maybe create sub variations. So you take the same images or new images and create new copy and test different under new ad sets. But from there, the immediate thing you should be doing is getting ready to launch a second campaign, going straight to an advertorial. Now, when should you launch an advertorial? Why should you do this? And will people really sit down and read an entire piece of long form copy before making a purchase? That's one of the most asked questions I get, and I can't believe I get that question asked, because it's unequivocally yes every single time. So first, advertorials are nothing new. All it is long form copy. If I go into Facebook Sciatica and hit enter, right? So sciatica is a type of pain that people face a lot of times when they're sleeping or laying down. It's some type of nerve or back pain. If I do that and filter by images, okay, we can easily find an advertorial pretty quick. So we see here someone is using some long form copy to an image. Let's hit learn more. And boom, just like that, within about 5 seconds, I found someone running an advertorial. Didn't take long for me to find that. Now, there are certain things there's a slight difference between an advertorial and a listicle. This actually is a listicle because they're listing different reasons why this product can ultimately help you with your back pain. Let's go a little bit longer and see if we can find a different advertiser. Okay, so that's an actual chiropractor. The trick is looking for this learn more button. Most people that are running advertorials will use the learn more button rather than the shop now. Okay, so this person's running a quiz page, right? So at some point they're going to get ready to launch an advertorial. So that's the same advertiser, which is cool. Boom, boom, boom. Let's boom here. Nope. Let's see. Let's keep clicking. And normally, I think I'm just clicking the same advertiser. I got to scroll a little bit. Let's see. Is Inside Track? Okay, that's the brand I keep clicking on. Let me pay attention here and try to click a different brand. Okay, like now, Claire Wilson. Sounds like the other guy. Yep, so this person's running different pages. Claire Wilson. Linda Collins. Is that the same? Yep. So this person's running different pages, and they're doing that. So they're running another page. So they're running Richard Mayers, Linda Collins. That's very interesting how that works. Let's keep scrolling for a little bit, and then I'm just going to use a different keyword because these people. Okay, boom. Here we go. So this is closer to an advertorial. This is actually an advertorial. So the difference, once again, there are listicles and there are advertorials. These are both considered pre-lander pages before the actual sales page. So a advertorial, a prime example of this one right here, as you can see, it's a lot of long-form copy paired with some images that help illustrate the copy. A lot of the times, this is considered from the perspective of a professional, in this case, Dr. Sarah Chen, or it could be from the perspective of a person sharing a story, like an article. Think of like a blog post. And the whole goal here is to address common beliefs or disbeliefs about a problem that they have, talk about why they have that problem and why there's been no other, any other remedies that have been trying to solve this problem. In this case, foot pain hasn't worked, right? So think about the common other solutions that you might have been trying, like going to a massage therapist, getting certain shoes, right? None of those things matter because the real problem is not the product that you're wearing on your feet, but actually the soles inside your shoes or whatever. So they're selling this acupuncture insole thing. So they handle objections. They provide statistical proof and fact and social proof. They use images and sometimes GIFs too. You don't not need GIFs, but it can help for sure. And if I click optimize really well to look clean, and at the very bottom, after reading all this copy, right, we'll see that there is a button here to check out to the actual main product page. And this is a product page they used, it seems like Atlas AI Store Builder to build this here. So you might be wondering, Alex, there's no way someone's going to read all this stuff before getting to my product page. Isn't this just going to cause more friction and cause people to not want to shop with me, and it's just going to hurt my conversion rate? No. And there's so many reasons why this isn't true, but let me give you the easiest and most condensed version. The way Facebook works, right, we use pixels to store data and get patterns of types of customers we want to work with. So historically speaking, if someone's on Facebook and they historically engage with clothing content and have shopped at different clothing stores from Facebook ads, Facebook will categorize that person as someone that likes clothing brands and buying clothes from Facebook. So now when new advertisers go to launch ads for clothing brands, they're going to use that customer data and say, hey, we're going to show this ad in front of this person because they've shown a history of buying clothes on our app. It's the same thing here with this exact format. Meta will have pixel data, right? So they can see here when someone views. And then when we go here, you can see that someone now is viewing your content. Then if I go to add to cart, you can see the pixels lighting up every single time an action is being taken. So what Facebook will eventually do is that they'll optimize your ads to show your ads with your long-form image or your long-form copy straight to an advertorial before the product page. They're going to optimize to show it to people that are most likely to actually purchase, right? So there's nothing additional that you need to do. You don't need to set up anything with your pixel or whatever. If your pixel is set up properly on your store, what I'm about to show you is an extension of your Shopify landing page. So there's nothing extra you need to do, which is good. But Facebook will optimize that. They'll see that, hey, we're going to put this ad in front of people that has a long-form copy. So they have to get past that stage first. Then we see that the data is showing that this type of person will then go through and read the entire long-form copy. Then they'll go to the product page, then they'll add to cart, then they'll purchase. So those actions are all being tracked by Meta, and they're going to create, using their algorithm and data, they're going to go find more people that are out there likely to buy this. Now, keep in mind, there are going to be people that would not do that. You're right in assuming that there is a portion of the market that will not go through all that long-form copy, will not read all that stuff, and will not buy. Even though they can benefit from the video ads, that is fine. The whole goal here as a marketer is just figuring out what type of marketing strategy you can use that's most cost-efficient to attract a certain type of person. I will say, though, personally, just as someone that's seeing the landscape of dropshipping and e-commerce, these pre-landers are becoming more and more important, especially for proven brands, because it's going to allow you to build trust. The initial way of dropshipping, which is, hey, here's an ad, go to my product and go buy. A lot of consumers are getting burnt out by that, and consumers are getting more and more intelligent and aware, that, hey, if I buy from this Facebook ad, there might be a chance that it's not the best quality. It's not, going to get to me in time. So there's initial skepticism. This extra step actually provides more trust, makes you look more like a legitimate brand, makes you look, more likely to obviously get a good product to the customer at a relative time. So this is on the actual contrary of causing friction in your business. It's actually going to increase your business and scale it. But it's important that we create certain angles based off of already winning ad metrics to make this work. Now, one last note before we get into some more details, right? We'll get into this in just a moment, but creating advertorials literally helped me skyrocket my business because I went from selling a product that the base price is $39.99 and increasing the AOV by adding additional upsells and stuff like that, and going from having people see those same offers from video ads to my product page, but only getting one or two things, then adding an advertorial and now getting those same customers to now spend way more money. Why? Because these are higher quality people. They've actually sat down. Think about the type of person that's going to go through a long form image ad, long form advertorial, then get to your product page and then buy it. These are going to be higher quality people by nature, right? So this is actually a good thing to have, a good process to set up, because the quality is going to be better. These people are going to spend more money. So you can see here, 8 items. This person bought 16 items in one order. So with that being said, let's go over a couple quick notes, and then the other separate trainings you'll see me break everything down. So the first thing is, when is it the right time to launch an advertorial? Well, this is under the assumption that you spent $500 total on one ad set, not the entire campaign, but one ad set, and that your overall ROAS through that $500 of spend on that ad set is about a 3x or higher. Why? Well, we need proof of concept. When you launch ads the first time, on one day, the ads can look amazing. On the second day, it can look horrible. And then on the third day, it can look great again. And then on the fourth day, it can look bad again. In the testing phase, there is such thing as ad volatility, meaning that not every single day is going to look like sunshine and rainbows. For some of you, none of the days are going to look good. That's how we know that that's not a good product. But for some of you, you might test some native image ads, long form copy going straight to, and then it bounces back. So we need to see an average of about $500 in spend. If you spend $500 on one ad set and you're at a 3x ROAS or even higher, that is all we need to know that we're ready to launch an advertorial. Additionally, we also do want to see a good conversion rate on your actual base website. So assuming image ads are going straight to product page, you should be at a 2% conversion rate or higher. An advertorial can increase your conversion rate, but what we're looking for is to see that your website on its own is good. Because now that we add an advertorial, there's an extra layer of friction, so to say, and there's an extra variable in place that will determine the overall health of your business. So before we just start adding in new variables, we got to make sure the foundation is set. So this is going to help us understand the ad foundation, and this is going to help us understand the website foundation. If those two things are true, that means you're healthy and you can build on top of the foundation that you're setting. And then last but not least, you got to make sure you have bundles and upsells, cart upsells, post-purchase upsells. You got to have it all. I have a full detailed training on AOV maxing inside the program. You can go under Classroom, Building a Winning Store. You'll see how to increase your AOV right here. This is important because this is going to allow you to make as much money as possible. Like I mentioned here, you're seeing people are going to my main store here and they're buying multiple things. So you want to have as much upsells as possible. If you don't, you'll see me break it down in that training. So definitely give that a watch because that's going to increase the likelihood of you being as profitable as possible, keeping those high margins. So before we get into anything else, I mean, that is just about it. We'll break down everything else in detail. We'll break down like the actual structure of the advertorial, how to create this, how to build it, how to do it all, and the other adjacent trainings from this. I just want to double check and make sure I'm not missing anything else in this little intro training. I'll mention this in the other training, but I think I'll just do it again here to just further reiterate. So when we're launching these advertorials, we're going to actually be launching them with the same exact winning copy, winning images, the exact same ad set. We're actually going to duplicate the main campaign. The only thing we're going to do is switch out the links from going straight to a product page and switch it out to go straight to the advertorial and change the CTA or the call to action from shop now to learn more. That's it. Once you build the advertorial and everything, that's it. You're going to launch your first set of ads there. And then for scaling this, guys, all it really is increasing the budget, adding new ad sets with new copy, new angles. You're going to use campaign 1 as the testing campaign. So you're going to find new angles, new copy, new messaging. And this is another reason why I like to keep them separate, because I can use this for testing without having to disrupt my scaling campaign. But in the campaign 1, which is going to be kind of like testing with just going from image ad to product page, you can create new ad sets and new stuff like that, which we'll have separate trainings on, but just to give you a 50-foot overview. And then whatever winning ad set is converting for you when you add it into this campaign, you can just duplicate that into the scaling campaign and then swap out the links and then change the call to action to learn more every time now. Simple enough, right? So let's get into the other trainings.